The Pope said you have to do 12 Hail Marys after every time you say Trump 2016.
That's how it is. Here we go. Hi. Once upon a groove on an old soul tune. I watch the pin move to shape the breakthrough. Who makes moves, maneuver in the right direction? The rest of you get left behind and messed up in this session. I'm not trying to make a difference. Maybe some pocket change.
Welcome to Drunkcast Live.
Yeah!
Episode 157 now?
I think so.
Why am I so bad with sequential numbers?
We got a little messed up on our time off.
Yeah, that's true. It's just been really hard to get back to it. I'm Travis.
Hi, I'm Dylan.
We're a podcast called Drunkcast Live. We'd like to have some drinks and talk about the things that happened over the week with interesting people. Yeah, 157. I said so because we have an interesting person with us, and it says 157 with Greg Lockwood.
Hello.
Greg Lockwood, one of my favorite people of all time. Someone I've known that I can't tell people how I met him because it just sounds creepy.
So many years. So many years.
So many years of not ever meeting you in real life, and then, where are you guys?
And then avoiding each other while living in Austin.
Yeah, kind of. So excited to have you back on the show. Now it's interesting too because not only did you help create the original Drunkcast, the old video game specific thing, and also be the kind of grandfather, come on the show a couple times, but now you're actually doing something that's more akin to where we're focusing. We're doing the comedian thing,
right?
So now I have to ask comedian Greg Lockwood the three questions.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole different guy.
It's a whole different guy now. So first, what are you drinking?
Fireman's 4.
Fireman's 4. And second, what is your spirit animal?
The penguin from Fight Club. The slide penguin,
Very
obviously.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay. The third question is going to be unique to you, and hopefully you'll never hear it again. What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast
hands
Crunch?
down.
Solid answer.
Didn't that disappear for a while?
Andy Slaughter.
I don't know. I think maybe it did, then it came back. I think it's still available.
I'm sure it's still as
now.
unhealthy as ever.
Oh, yeah. It's like sugar in a box.
It's literally, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's the best.
It's crunchy sugar.
Now, did you like Cinnamon Toast Crunch better than the French Toast Crunch they had for a little bit?
No, French Toast Crunch was the shitty offshoot. Not as good as the original.
It was really, well, yeah, it was definitely like a cousin.
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
the third Robin, or yeah.
It was the breakfast cereal with nipples on it.
No,
Right. It's the Clooney version.
I don't fuck with French Toast Crunch. I fuck with Freedom Toast Crunch, actually.
Topical.
Now I think we're back to supporting France again.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's fashionable now.
I love this dude specifically. I'm not going to say his name, but I got really upset when because there was an actual terrorist situation in France. And it was very serious, and everyone was changing their Facebook pictures.
Yeah.
And apparently someone made a United States version of that. And so while everyone else is changing the shit to the overlay of the French flag, he put up the U.S. flag. I was like, what are you trying to prove here?
America?
Yeah, but it's not even his personality. He's like, what? Okay, well. This is your one.
It's true.
And you're going to be unfriended after that.
It's true American exceptionalism. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry I got bombed, but here's the American flag on top of my face.
Right.
Because we're what's important.
Yeah. Support them. Support us. Support our troops. In America. Yeah.
America.
Trump 2016.
I'm telling, man, that's going to be the absolute fucking worst day. But it's going to be the loudest.
You have to do at least 12.
No. It's the loudest. I told you so. I'm going to get on top of a fucking mountain, and I'm going to scream to all you motherfuckers that, yes, he was serious the whole time, and I don't want it to happen. But, oh, man, bullhorns, everything crazy. Not Dylan, I'm sure that you also kind of felt the same way, there's a chance. But, so many arguments with people, it's like, nah, he's just drop out.
No, he's a front runner.
Yeah, he
literally is.
He's the guy.
The front runner.
Yeah.
The Pope said you have to do 12 Hail Marys after every time you say Trump 2016.
Forgive me, Father Fry of Trump.
For absent.
I don't know why it took. And they love that joke.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke. Yeah. I don't know why it took me so long to notice his gesticulations. I don't know why I never really noticed it. I thought he was mostly just flailing wildly because I'm scared of him, but I didn't notice how many times he pinches his fingers. He's got these.
Oh,
he has these hidden joints. But you see his mouth, and he's like he always does that pursing thing. It's like, so the guy just. He figured something out, is what I'm saying.
He has a calculated thing he does.
Yeah, and it makes money or whatever. Anyway.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's take a little bit of time to talk to you about why you're doing stand-up. What got you the bug? Have you been thinking about it for a while?
Yeah, so about a year ago, I did an open mic night. It was always something on my mind. It's like, you think of funny jokes and you want to say them in front of other people.
Yeah.
So about a year ago or so, I did one open mic night at Hotel Vegas,
Sure.
which is hosted by Eric J. Nagurney, which is a former
Yeah.
host of the show.
He's a friend of the show.
Eric
Yeah, friend of the show.
Money Nagurney.
Eric Money Nagurney, yeah.
But the room at Hotel Vegas, I love the people there. The room there is a little rough,
Okay.
And so I went up, did my bit, and I was like, okay, never say words in front of people ever again.
You're like, I was Brian Coffey. Out, I'm out. But that's kind of part of it, though. Like, that's kind of you have to get burned.
So you have to realize if you're one of the people that can go up there and like deal with silence and go back up tomorrow night or not. So about a year passed, I did one more open mic night, and then 6 months passed from there, and I just decided that I was going to start doing a few open mic nights every week.
Yeah.
And if people didn't laugh, people didn't laugh. If people laughed, people laughed. And so that was about 4 months ago or so, and I've been doing 2, 3, 4 on the High Point open mic nights every week.
Wow. 2, 3, 4. Oh, the High Point. Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
at the High Point?
Not the Kanye song, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You know me. I'm a big Kanye fan, so. That's really awesome. Like, yeah, because we'd never talked about that before. I know that you aspired to write. You had a travel blog. You had your fitness blog that you were working on. And seeing this thing, like, it made sense. Also, I'm confident that I would not want to be a heckler around you because you do have that certain amount of like you have a dagger in your throat. Like.
Yeah, the funny thing is that I am not like the quick on the feet, like heckler defeater that lots of people are.
Oh, no, sure.
I have my fucking jokes, and then if you heckle me, I will ignore you and move right the fuck on because I don't have time for that. I'm not prepared for
has that happened yet? Because like you can burn people pretty fucking hard.
Well, no, yeah, agreed.
Especially
really
for as dumb
happened.
as you sound. Sorry.
I agree. No, you're not wrong. The most like I've ever like been mean to anyone is at one show. People were sort of talking when I was going up, and I said,
Sure.
"Everyone, shut the fuck up! This is about to be hilarious." And people respond well to that. They're like, "Well, he wouldn't say that if he wasn't very confident about what he's about to say."
That's good.
You got that calm Jezelneck situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to do the
This is about to be fucking hilarious.
a little bit of the Justin Nick, a little bit of the head, Berg, rest in peace.
Sure.
A little bit of the Dan Mintz. That sort of, because my voice obviously is literally anyone that's listened to my voice for longer than 5 seconds. It's not made for like the long storytelling.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like Mike Birbiglia,
Oh yeah.
Mike Birbiglia is good.
He's good, and like he has a trailing thing that happens, and like if you didn't know a good story's coming, you'd probably be like, all right, get on with it, Like,
Yeah.
Like it's not unprecedented.
No, it's not. But if you listen to Dan Mintz's stand-up, especially, who is the voice of Tina on Bob's Burgers,
Yeah.
he has that voice where he's like, here's the joke, and it's over, essentially. I don't know where I was going with that. No, Dan Mintz's voice is I heard Dan Mintz, like, if Dan Mintz can be a stand-up comedian with that voice,
Right.
then anyone could be a stand-up comedian with however shitty their voice is.
Yeah. You just gotta have the
circumstance.
heart to go through and know that it's terrible or whatever, right?
Right.
Like and then that literally is the most important part about being a comedian, is being able to get through your crippling anxiety,
Yeah, the most important part is being able to tell your jokes and have nobody laugh at them and keep going and do it again.
What do you think is worse of these three scenarios? A complete silence, like not even the tinkling of glasses, complete silence.
Right.
A single cough,
Okay.
or someone with a cricket noise on their phone?
Probably complete silence because that's what I've dealt with the most. When you say cricket noise, I assume
Like someone has like an app that just like they had it queued up. You know?
I don't know if you meant the cricket, the creature sound, or cricket, the wireless company sound. I don't know if they had like a specific ringtone.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like the cricket ringtone.
Next time I'll ask that question, and I'll say cicada instead of cricket.
By then, yeah, there might be a cicada wireless network. You're like, God damn.
Damn it, Sprint! You're always fucking up my one joke.
No, the thing is, you just really have to be popular with silence or no response. Because the thing is that it's not necessarily that your joke is not funny. It could be a bad room. It could be that you just told it shittily.
Yeah.
But you cannot be a comedian for very long without being comfortable with people not laughing at us. Because even the people that are like actual veterans of the local scene, they go up on open mic and they tell jokes that I don't think is funny and anyone else thinks it's funny. So if you cannot, grapple with that, telling jokes without it being funny, then you're not going to last very long in the first place.
Yeah. You had to get to that silence.
Yeah, you had to become comfortable with it.
Do you think? Well, so what's your writing process? Right.
Sometimes I will sit down and be like, okay, joke time, like not doing anything. And then just like sort of thinking about what the common joke topic or themes are.
Yeah.
And try to write jokes off of that. But honestly, more successful is I'll just be driving down the road or, like sitting at my desk or just doing normal daytime things. And then something will hit you in the head. And the thing is that you have to write your joke down immediately.
Yeah. Like a dream.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. If you don't write it down right then it's going to disappear, and then you will not be able to remember it all.
Or you try to fake it afterwards, right?
Yeah,
it's like, well, how did it go? Like,
yeah, and it's never...
How many Jews were there?
It's never as funny at all at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, writing jokes down, letting them come naturally. And the ones that come to you naturally are usually, like, by far the funniest ones. Like, all the jokes that I just, like, I wake up at 4 a.m. and open my phone and type it in, and then I will go to sleep, and then when I wake up the next morning, I'd be like, God damn right, that was a great joke.
Do you have any, like I understand, like, a lot, especially the open mic situation is mostly, like, learning how a joke works, what jokes work, and whatever.
Right.
But, like, do you ever have a problem with telling the same joke several times?
I do, but the thing is that... So when I went in and started, I was like, I'm going to need a clean set every week,
Yeah.
Like, people are not going to deal with hearing the same jokes week in and week out.
Sure.
And I really did, for about 2 months or so, had like a new 5 minutes of jokes each week. But the thing that surprised me was even like the performing comedians, the comedians that are veterans that do it every week, they really have the same jokes week in and week out.
Yeah.
And they're more concerned about refining them, working on the timing.
Yeah.
And so I came in here trying to think of as like jokes per week, as possible. But now that we go into the new year, and so for comedians, everything revolves around FPIA, which is Funniest Person in Austin.
Sure.
Which is in April. And so I suspect now that we draw closer to it, and me personally, I guarantee, will begin like narrowing down and focusing on a certain amount of jokes and refining those jokes for Funniest Person in Austin.
Yeah.
Because you can't just tell, the jokes that you wrote last night.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. It's crazy to me. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about this new thing for you.
Thank you.
Do you have we've had people on the show whose day jobs are in state government.
Uh-huh.
and or people who've just been in state government who's been on the podcast, and like one of our friends, Justin Wilhelm, was on the show, and like he, like as drunk as he got the next morning, he was still like, "Hey, I mentioned one specific thing about this thing. Will you please take it out?" I was like, "Yeah, I can do that."
Right.
But like, do you have to stray away from that, or do you say like, "Who cares if I'm working somewhere else?" Like,
No, I mean,
these jokes are these, and I don't have to worry about like, oh, well, I also this is state secrets or whatever, you know. But
no, I mean, I won't reveal where, but as you know, I work for local government here in the city of Austin, and the general area is so liberal and so chill that I don't worry about it. It's not a concern for me.
All right, that's good. Okay.
I would go more into detail, but
Oh, sure. Well, exactly. Yeah. We got a red light, so let's go ahead and take our first break, and we'll come back with more beer and more podcasts.
Break.
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break.
Standards used in the loosest possible terms.
Deep groove, and the night's new. What a feeling, what a nice mood. A bam, boom, rock. We're here to rock you. It's like, damn, what a vibe. Woo. I got my own
Welcome back to the show, everybody!
Yeah.
The segment 2, the fighting 2, the Double Deuce.
Yep.
Still hanging out with Dylan, of course, still hanging out with Greg Lockwood.
Yeah.
In the audience, we have the lovely Andrea Stellato.
No voice.
With no voice.
Sorry, guys.
She's hanging out and listening to us and mostly ignoring us, so.
True story.
Just like most of our fans. Yeah. So Star Wars fever, right?
Yeah, I got my tickets.
Yeah, everyone's got their tickets. The thing. So in Austin, Texas, we have a little. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. A little movie theater called the Alamo Drafthouse. And the concept of Alamo Drafthouse, and a lot of cities have this shit now. I think Alamo still does it better than I've ever seen.
They even have Alamos in a lot of cities now.
Yeah. But the idea is like you go and you sit down, and you can also eat dinner and drink while you're watching. And the previews will be quirky, and they'll show like the first interviews or first commercials by the people who are in the movies and stuff. It's fun, whatever. But they're doing this crazy Star Wars competition.
What are they doing?
This crazy.
It is crazy.
Have you seen this yet?
No,
Dylan?
I have not. No.
Have you seen it?
So
Have you
crazy.
seen it? It's fucking crazy. So essentially, if you were picked as one of 12, I guess. I can't remember how many people are. Okay, so if you were picked through Instagram as a really big Star Wars fan,
You have to watch the first 3 Star Wars movies.
you have to watch all.
And it gets worse from there.
You have to sit through a showing of all 6 movies, and then, like, you remember there was an old like contest where whoever was touching the car last wins the car.
Yeah.
It's you watch the Force Awakens on repeat until everyone
Until
wins
you're the last person that hasn't fallen asleep.
You cannot go to sleep. You cannot take illegal drugs. You can drink coffee. You can drink and you spend the money whatever you want. But you cannot. There's breaks in between
you can
each showing.
stretch between movies.
So they are stealing Shia LaBeouf's idea?
Yeah, I mean,
What?
Well, it was their idea first, and then Shia LaBeouf, I guess, was like, "Hey, let's see how cool I am," and then he did it.
He watched his own movies.
But like literally, if people can handle it, it'll be 3 days of one movie repeating forever.
Okay, but what do you win? What's the point?
They receive a prize package that includes a 7-year movie pass to Alamo Drafthouse Theaters, a complete set of the 2015 and 2016 top Star Wars card reader cards, and a selection of mega rare Star Wars Mondo prints, and theater seat named in their honor.
So basically,
Okay.
you're going to watch movies until you die.
yeah.
Right.
It could be
Alamo.
worse.
Well, and the crazy thing, like, aside from the fact that's already insane, the craziest part of it is, like, you're literally asking a person who's never seen this movie to come in and watch the movie so much that they fucking hate it. Like, there's no way that you can watch any movie you like, like, you can't watch the same movie 12 times in a row and still walk out and say, like, it's still pretty good. Like, you're just going to be, you're miserable. You're sitting in a seat. Like, there's not a chair. You know, there's
Yeah.
nothing soft about it. Like you're really just going to push this thing, and they're like, that's awesome. But those guys are going to walk out and say, we're not in Star Wars, sell all my toys. So I'm getting rid of all my Lego sets. Like, I'm out until next year, of course. And yeah, 7 years of it.
Well, my beef with it is that I feel like only 7 people get to enter the actual competition.
Oh, it's 7. Okay.
So it's 7.
Of course, 7
Because there are
movies.
The
7 movies. Yeah.
competition to be one of those 7 will be way more intense than the competition to stay awake for 3 days of fucking Force Awakens.
Sure.
So, people that might be able to compete, like, will just be turned off by the fact that in order to be one of those 7 people out of everyone in the world, they'll have to just get like the Star Wars crucifixion tattooed on their back.
That's true.
Or
That's true.
something like that, you know.
Remember when that was a really big thing? Like when getting a tattoo, you can get a tattoo on eBay. Like, where people would eBay their body parts and in areas in their body parts to companies.
Yeah, goldennugget.com.
The Steve-O days.
Yeah, the Steve-O days. And that used to be a big old thing, and so there's some like Jackalope, for example, has this thing. You can come get a free Jackalope tattoo, and if you get the free Jackalope tattoo,
on specific specialized parties, we do that.
yeah, very specific things, very specialized, and you had it. It was basically like for a certain amount of time, you got like free drinks or discounts on drinks or whatever it was, and that's cool. But
people are nuts for free tattoos, you guys.
Yeah. But you're absolutely right. Like, I don't think a lot of people do that. But as soon as the contest comes out, it's like, oh, you want me to show you I'm a super fan? Like, I'm gonna get a full body tattoo that makes me look like I'm always in a
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, yeah.
Like Lizard Man, but now I'm just Darth Vader Man.
You guys wanting
Or Darth
to do
Maul
that?
thing,
Yeah.
you know,
I
like
can talk to my
with the horns.
tattoo artist.
yeah.
Or like,
Oh, it was about Star Wars.
It would be fun to do that for you guys.
or paint like the
Wow. I feel
Chewbacca
a
Mona
party
Lisa,
coming.
you know, like you had to create some fucking great work of art to even be entered into the competition.
Right.
And then when you get in the competition, it's like not that big of a deal.
So we'll give anyone who shows up a free Drunkcast live tattoo,
We can put something like that together, I'm sure.
and no one would get one.
Do some
love to
buyouts
help you
for
guys
free
put
beer
that
or whatever.
together.
Like, yeah. We'll figure that out
Yes.
after the segment.
Yeah.
But so Dylan, you said you had your tickets. Greg, are you excited about Star Wars?
I'm excited. I don't have tickets yet. I plan on getting tickets hopefully within the first few days because the date, the 18th or whenever it hits,
Yeah.
you pretty much just have to go on total media
Lockdown.
blackout.
Yeah.
You have to become goddamn the hermit.
Air gapped everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much
You have to be a Sorkin character.
Yeah, you go buy a new computer from the Best Buy,
yeah,
and then never put it on the internet.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be the Wadden Pond.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Throw your life away. Yeah.
Throw your life to the Star Wars. And then so as soon as I see Star Wars, which will hopefully be just depending on when I can get a seat within the next few days of its showing, and I can rejoin Civilization.
Yeah.
Good plan.
That's the thing is like I'm not really excited. I mean, like I am, but I'm not. Like I know it's going to be socially important, but like in talking to Dylan about it before the show, he said. He's like, well, I wanted to make sure to be able to see it, so we had something to talk about on the show. And I was like, oh shit! Like now I have a
Trust
countdown.
is like I'm gonna have to watch this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Well,
now.
and like I know I'll enjoy it, but also like I didn't really want to do it the same weekend, because
Yeah.
Well, we gotta stay topical.
you got to stay topical.
Need
Yeah.
those downloads.
I mean, I can make it all up too, like.
You saw a secret screening, a private
Sure.
director's cut.
It was very Jar Jar heavy though. Like spoilers, guys. Spoilers.
Han Solo was crazy when he did the thing.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I couldn't believe it.
He started swinging the thing in the. Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm more excited about Deadpool, but you know me.
Yeah, you like Deadpool.
I like Deadpool.
Yeah.
I like Deadpool and I hate Skype. Apparently, that's what Matt Lauer says. That I am.
No one's perfect.
Star Wars, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the Star Wars stuff is, well, you can tell Disney has had their hand in it because everything now is Star Wars based.
Yeah.
The worst I've seen so far was a commercial last night on TV for, I think, GMC pickup trucks with Star Wars music going on.
Wow,
It was-
really?
it was
I
a
think I
Star
saw
Wars-
that one. It was like Han Solo would drive a GMC.
Yeah.
Why don't you, pussy?
God, where's Michael Gray? We need him to have Harrison Ford tell us that he would not ride a fucking GMC. God, pussy.
Yeah,
They were
but-
torn from me.
and it wasn't like a Star Wars edition where they're painting it. It was just, they were just saying, hey, Star Wars is coming out, GMC. Am I right?
We're relevant, right? Check this out. Check this out.
Meanwhile, Mickey Mouse is sitting there counting all his goddamn money.
Yeah. Well, like I was talking to a friend from Chicago about how that Disney was going the Marvel route with Star Wars, and I was
They
like,
are, yeah.
and I stopped and I was like, you know that Disney is also doing the Marvel route with Marvel, like,
Right.
like the big winner is always going to be fucking Mickey,
Yep.
60 stories tall Mickey tromping through downtown, like pissed off because of purity rings or whatever.
I was gonna say that if George Lucas knew what they're doing with Star Wars, he'd be rolling his grave. But I realize he hasn't stopped making shitty movies long enough to die. He'd be rolling in his grave.
None of our research will allow him to die. We tried to kill him, and it's just not working.
It's the best Lucas burn I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's excellent.
I guess he saw it and they were interviewing. What do you think? He's like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, he said the quote that I liked from that specifically was he said that he said that his involvement would have ruined the vision, which I thought was really big of him.
Yeah.
Because you know.
Because we're all like, yes, it
Yes.
would
Oh, yeah.
have.
We've been
We
saying
all
this for
know.
years.
That's not really an insight. Any one of us could have told you that.
Of course, yeah. Well, we
There
finally
are
had
millions of people who agree with that.
the open Wild West is not an echo chamber of people like, you know, because like I've talked about them before on the show, and I don't know if Greg, if you've ever watched the Red Letter Media reviews of the new trilogy.
I don't watch YouTube.
They're so excellent and like and critical in a very smart way because the guy went to school for it, whatever. But there's all these chunks where they'll just pepper in from the documentary or the behind the scenes stuff of Lucas just Lucasing around and just saying the dumbest shit, like especially the one quote. This is the fucking most beautiful quote from a madman. He's like, when he's talking about the dialogue and the script in the actual movie, and he's like, well, it's like poetry, it rhymes. He's talking about he's seen in one of the movies, and he compares it to poetry because it rhymes. It's like, I don't even have time to explain how fucking sophomoric it is, at least. You know, pedestrian at best.
Wow.
Like, yeah, pepper that in, you know, just a little
Truly
thing.
spoken like someone that hired Christian Haydenson for 2 movies.
Right.
Wow.
Like a guy who just doesn't get it.
Wow.
Like, he was surprised by Boba Fett being a popular character. Like that was a big surprise. He's like, I mean, I can understand too. Like it was just a little chunk, but he didn't realize that he was making a universe until the universe is filled up, and he's like, all right, well, what else can we shove into this fucking the gaping maw of this universe? Like,
Although I'm still surprised Boba Fett is a character at all because he really wasn't that important.
it wasn't that important, but
And it was kind of really, really not. He was a terrible
And
bounty hunter. He died
the
really
most
fast.
important thing he did was die.
And he died in the first 3 minutes. And he has a jetpack. He can fly, and he still can't get out. Fuck you. You're a shitty character.
well, it was a concept of intrigue. I think an intrigue is really important and can only
It was a really cool toy.
Well, I mean, a really cool toy, but I didn't have any of the toys. Like
I did. I had a 12
There was
inch.
something about like the reason why John Wick is so cool, and the reason why we're concerned about John Wick prequel or sequel is that it had this really cool universe that wasn't explained. And so this Boba Fett character, who was obviously very important, and the Jabba's used him all the time or whatever, and he's like, this is the guy, and then he's dead, and it's like, oh shit, what was his story? Like, oh well, he's a clone. Fuck you, Lucas, you idiot.
Yeah,
like,
I agree with you on that one.
yeah.
I accept the fact that Boba Fett became something that people cared about because it was a really cool toy. That's fine.
Sure.
But to make that the out where it was just stupid.
Well, and my point about that is like for Lucas to not recognize that the intrigue was important.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like
I'm going to explain it.
neck all shaking around. He's just surprised by it, and his wife's leaving him. She's like, "I helped you build this shit." Whatever. That's pretty specific. Excuse me.
I like John Wick because he woke up and realized the best use of my life is to kill literally everyone I can.
Sure, yeah.
Because of this fucking dog.
Because of a puppy.
That was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I love that movie.
Dude, that movie is incredible. I was actually talking to my brothers today about how incredible it would be to watch the Raid 1, the Raid 2, Dread, John Wick, and one more, but I can't remember.
Payback.
Payback, the famous Mel Gibson.
That's an awesome movie.
It is an awesome
No,
movie.
it is
But
not an awesome movie.
It doesn't fit necessarily in like the more epic version of revenge stories, but like if I was looking for something else, like that'd have to be in there for sure. But like, well, I hadn't seen the Raid. I haven't seen the Raid or Raid 2, obviously, because I have to watch them in sequence.
You need to get right with Hoon Jang Song, or whatever his name is.
Sure, I'll get right with whatever his name is. Well, and like there's little chunks of man. I mean, I could talk about John Wick, like especially like the specific frames and how
Oh, The Guest. The Guest was the last movie I was going to say.
Oh, The Guest.
Have you seen The Guest?
No.
That is goddamn incredible.
What's The Guest? What's the elevator pitch for that?
Basically, The Drive mixed with Satan's Little Helper.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And it is violent as hell.
Wait, The Drive or Drive?
Drive.
Drive.
The
Okay.
Gosling.
Yeah.
It's basically Gosling if in Drive form if he was not the Drive character, but if he was a psychopath
Okay.
and wanted to kill everyone.
That sounds great.
It is great. It really is.
Yeah, because some of the best parts of Drive are when he was just fucking things up, you know?
Murdering, yeah.
Or like Taken. Taken is another good one. It's like when Butner, a friend from a long time ago, Butner said that they should have renamed Taken to Leslie Nielsen.
That would also
How great would that movie have
Fucking great.
been?
Rest in peace. Liam Neeson beats the shit out of people for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to see that movie now. No,
And now I really want to see Liam Neeson beat the shit out of people for 99 minutes.
Leslie Nielsen.
yeah.
Oh, that would have been a great spoof movie if he made it that long. Oh man, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I have a set of skills. I'm great in the kitchen.
I lost them somewhere. Yeah. Oh, here they are. He pulls out a briefcase. Like, are you looking for? And then it's all drills, or whatever.
I have a certain type of drills.
It's Dremels, like
Good times.
we haven't taken another break. We'll come back and talk a little bit more with Greg Lockwood.
Break.
We have to jingle deeper.
Sewing my name on the quilted grades. Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break. Like, damn, what have I?
Welcome back to Drink Live. Segment 3, the Fighting 3.
That's right.
So I got a Don Zeep in Austin, Texas. One of my favorite spots. I think Dylan likes it.
I'm here more than once.
Yeah, more than zero.
More than 0 times a week. Yeah.
Still hanging out with Greg.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't remember what your Twitter handle was. And I just realized I was going to ask you between the segments, but now I have to keep going. So, are you using Twitter for comedy?
No.
Because my Item 40 account follows you on Twitter, but I don't think Drunkcast follows you on Twitter. Maybe I don't see you very often.
That's,
But I don't know if you use it as the same kind of like platform as a lot of people do.
No, I don't. I tweet at Drunkcast Live occasionally.
Yeah.
What I was going to say.
Yeah.
No, but I don't. I'm not a Twitter comedian, as are most comedians. I feel like any joke that's good enough for Twitter is terrible to tell in actual real life.
Sure.
Like one time I thought of the perfect Twitter joke, which is, I think that Blow featuring Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz is a good movie, but I don't think we needed sequels up to the 400 Blows, which is a great Twitter joke, if I do say so myself.
Up to the 400 Blows? Is that another movie?
It is not a movie.
Okay.
I guess you have to be cultured to get the joke.
Yeah, see, I've never
One
heard of it.
person that
Is it a-
actually has good taste is going to think that's a great joke.
As long as they have good taste, yeah, because I know anime.
Right.
You know?
Well, no, I mean, we were talking about taste,
Yeah.
not whatever the opposite of that is. But it's a terrible real life joke. And the best real life jokes are usually like suicide or abortion or,
Okay.
jokes like that.
Yeah, sure.
Which people
Or
don't.
Herman McCain. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and which people on Twitter, it's a different kind of joke telling. So, I don't participate in the Twitter. Here's my joke. The Rob Delaney form of comedy, essentially.
Patton Oswalt or
Yeah.
Do you so but what about social exposure? Are you like worried about it right now? Or are you still kind of feeling like because you're dipping your feet into a lot of open mics.
Right.
You're really kind of feeling this whole thing out. Like
Right.
I love the idea, and this is not supposed to be an inside joke, but if at some point everyone's going to know this guy's name, Dimmy. Electro Lemon is what we used to call him, the instructor at the time, who writes for At Midnight, who has his own shit. Like I
So
love.
he's to blame.
Probably more people know him than listen to this podcast.
Well,
let's be honest
that's true.
here.
Well, the name Dimmy versus
Right, yeah.
I in my head I love the idea of you guys like finally meeting back up at some point because you're going to be like on At Midnight or something good.
Right.
But
We can only hope.
yeah, we can only hope. No, but Yeah, what do you think about social presence, like website, and like keeping up on Facebook and keeping your stuff up to date? Like it talked about having a calendar, and like
Right.
at this point you're playing it out week by week. But
Yeah, I mean, I've only been doing this for about 4 months or so. So I'm still in the open mic, like get it where you can phase.
Yeah.
And when you're signing up for open mics, you might know the day before at best if you're going to tell
Sure.
jokes.
Yeah.
The day of at worst if you're going to tell jokes. So it's hard to, present that social presence out there. Like, oh, come see me at Empire Control Room
Yeah.
on Tuesday at 8:30.
Right.
I'm going to be telling jokes for 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Come stay for 2 hours to hear me tell 4 minutes of jokes. Which, I mean, obviously there's other comedians. But yeah, so being a beginning stand-up comedian is harder to present the social media phase out there.
sure.
I try to beckon the inner, actual friend
The circles.
circles.
Yeah.
And then, because I said I've only been doing this for 4 months, which is a blink of an eye.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
In the actual stand-up time.
Yeah.
So whenever I start to have showcases or things that are actually planned out, then it'll be a better situation to say
Time to
Wednesday
time to do the serious thing.
at
Yeah,
9 p.m.
yeah,
at this
yeah.
venue. Come hang out.
Chocolate.
Huh, okay. I mean, do you see that at some point though? You see? Do you dream of it?
I mean,
Do you dream of having a bookings page and being on LinkedIn as a professional comedian and
I do-
whatever you strive for or whatever?
I do
Greg's
dream.
updated his profile.
Yeah.
I do dream of it, but then again, I have some pretty fucked up dreams.
Cheers. Yeah.
Hey.
No, I mean that is the favored goal, but one thing I think that separates me from a lot of the comedians that are out there at the standard open mic nights is I have an actual
Job.
professional,
Yeah.
white collar job.
Yeah.
So I can be more relaxed and less less aggressive in chasing it, which hurts me in a way because the people that are out there that are working shit jobs that are working for this to take them out of minimum wage or whatever.
Yeah, the hunger.
Right, yeah,
Right.
they
Get
have
it
more
out.
of the hunger, but on the other hand, I can approach it.
You can eat.
I can eat. I can wait out the process. Like if I need to be working in Austin for 5 years,
Right.
Becoming a known person in Austin before I make the next jump, then I can afford to live my life,
Right.
comfortably here until that happens. So it's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess.
That white comedian privilege.
Not all white comedians.
Yeah. Hashtags.
Not all stand-ups.
Yeah, not all stand-ups. Do you see yourself touring then eventually? Do you?
I mean, I think that's
because that's a part is especially if you're going to try to do it for 5 years and you're trying to maintain the professional side of it,
Right.
Getting up and going.
Yeah.
And because Eric does it, Sarah June does it,
Adam Brabick.
Rabick does it, Patrick Soares, all the guys that we've had on,
Right.
the comedians in town, they get
Yeah.
up and they'll go to New Orleans forever, or
Yeah.
or they'll go to Syria or whatever.
No,
that's
it's
definitely-
pronounced Idaho.
Oh, Idaho, excuse me.
No,
The Middle East.
It's definitely the goal. It's definitely the goal. But I guess for me, it's just a matter of grinding away at whoever will have me until
Yeah.
I can work it up to replace what I do
Yeah.
IRL. So yeah, it definitely is a goal, and I think it is a goal for any working comedian. The only question is, can you or will you sustain yourself at the open mic
Right.
struggling level,
Right.
for as long as it takes
With the same
to get to the next level.
angry echo chamber that an open mic can be, because I'd say, well, look, also, isn't there a good chunk of people in the audience who are waiting to go up after your
Oh
4
no,
minutes? Like,
yeah, that's the vast majority on most nights. Is the other comedians that they're waiting to tell their jokes,
just staring you
and-
down.
Yeah, or I mean, staring you down at best, or studying their own lines at worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
because if they're concentrating on their notebooks or journals or whatever, then you don't have eyes on you. So it can be a tough room when, you know, comedians are just waiting to go up on their turn.
Yeah.
But the general scene in Austin has been really, really great and really supportive.
That's good. Yeah, because I've heard that from the other people who've been on. Like, everyone's pretty, like the competitiveness doesn't seem as aggressive.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's not a competitive thing. It's just
Yeah.
everyone trying to grind it out as much as possible,
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think y'all have. So tomorrow, well, this isn't going to come out in time.
Yeah, sure. But
Oh.
the Sunday after, or the Sunday before this
Sunday
comes out,
before
yeah,
it
yeah,
comes
yeah.
out is the
4 days ago.
Empire stand-up PBS tapings.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I don't know if he's been on the show, but I know y'all have rubbed elbows with Martin Urbano.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
been
yeah,
on the
he was
show.
on the,
Yeah.
been on the show, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's performing tomorrow night.
That's awesome. That guy's
yeah,
fucking
he
funny.
is funny
Yeah.
as shit,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
And he's one of the guys where he's like one of the veterans, but he is still like at the open mics with everyone
One
else.
of the veterans,
Yeah.
he's like 14 years old.
Yeah, I think he just turned 21. He was on our
Yeah.
show and he had a beer and something else. I didn't
And he
even
was
remember.
surprised that he could have a beer in public. He's like,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Chris Sabaglia.
Sibilia.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
So Pulbita.
even though he has his own, show and his own gig going
Yeah.
on, like, you'll see him
Yeah, he's still out.
at the fucking open mics, just testing out material with
Like
everyone
Leno,
else,
still
so-
going to the streets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
With
So
the-
less
with the
of a
normal people.
douchebag, less of a
Yeah, that's
douchebag
true.
than Leno.
Yeah, Chris is a much better person.
Yeah.
He'll help you move,
Yeah. yeah.
Leno will be like, hey, before you move, can I do 5 minutes? 5 minutes? 15 minutes? 15 minutes? 3 hours?
Hey, can I take everything that belongs to you? And-
this is really nice. Look great in my garage. Yeah. Jerk. Hey, whatever. Whoa, excuse me.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
A fugue state. Excuse me, guys. Anger-induced fugue state. Yeah. Well, I'm excited about this for you. Like, I think it's fucking great. I think it's a really good fit.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
And I'm sure you feel relieved that I'm happy for you.
That's all this has really been.
So
It's
much
just
tension.
been like cold sweats and now like, when will Travis Kodorf ever approve of anything I do?
Well, and now the hard part is that now that you're not sneaking around me,
Right.
now you're not going to like it as much. You're like, this comedian, well, I'm over this because Travis likes it. So, yeah. Dad's okay with it, so I'm not sneaking out of the house anymore. Yeah.
But still showing up shit-faced on his front porch every once in a while, hopefully.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, you got to have a story, right? Yeah. God.
Which is what I'm doing here, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah. This is, I mean, yeah. Just as much as anything else, I guess. But cheers to that, real quick. Yeah.
Yes. And cheers to continued success on the circuit.
Yes.
Open all those mics.
Kick all of those coffee butts or whatever.
I love whoever put money in the jukebox right now. I'm like really into this playlist.
Let's take another break, and then we'll come back and we'll do our toasts, and we'll get out of here.
Break.
The dust off the canvas and wait till we break like
And it gets worse from there.
And the night's new, what a feeling, what a nice mood. A bam, boom, rock, we're here to rock you. It's like, damn, what a vibe, woo. I got my own soul.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
Drunk Ass segment 4. It is the Fantastic
It is
Four.
fantastic.
Not the Fan Four stick.
Nope.
No one believes
We
in
have
that.
standards.
We have standards, yes. Standards, and we practice.
That's right.
Still like it. Well, sure, yeah. Greg disagrees with that statement, but,
Thank you. Well, then we have standards.
Standards
Yeah,
used in the loosest possible terms.
Well, no, a standard is a standard, even if it's terrible. A lowbrow standard is still standard.
That's true.
Hey, we have you here, Danny.
Right. We're happy to see you. I mean, that means a lot.
Again, I would argue with that.
It's low standards, but they're still
Yeah.
standards.
Yeah, sure. Like I said in last week's show, I don't care I don't care the level of brow, like as long as it happens or whatever. But
I have a segue to that.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
If you have the Netflix, you've probably been bombarded with the Netflix original movie starring Adam Sandler
Oh my God.
called The Ridiculous Six that just came out.
Oh, that's right.
I watched that.
I'm ready to hear about it.
Yeah.
Well, where to begin?
Okay. All right, start at the Big Bang.
It's both terrible and not terrible at the same time.
I believe one of those things.
Allow me to explain.
Currently half right.
Allow me to explain. It has an amazing cast. It really does. Like Terry Crews kills it. He's
Terry Crews is
fantastic.
awesome.
Like the first 13 seconds he's on screen is like an hour of the movie, but still it's like, holy shit, this movie's funny again.
Yep.
Great cast. It has a tried and true, proven Western story, so you can't fuck it up. It's the journey of I meet friends along the way. We have a posse and
Sure.
there's a showdown.
Yeah, sure.
You can't ruin the story. It's been told 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So it has a plot.
In the Old West.
Yeah, so it has a plot that's passable because you can't fuck it up.
Right.
It has a bunch of characters who are actually pretty good,
Try not tonight.
and then it has Adam Sandler.
Cut two.
And then
Which is the weak part.
Yeah.
Sandler was stronger than somebody else. I'll get to in a second. My only problem with him is that he was trying to do too much Zohan,
Okay.
where he's trying to capitalize on the thing that he did with a person of superior skills and athleticism.
Yeah, sure.
And they did a really shitty job at that. It feels really, really tired.
Right.
Then what's worse is that
Yeah, because it doesn't work with the trope. I'll call it a tumbleweed, essentially. You know, you start off as this person, and you pack on. And that doesn't work. You can't have the one guy who's great at fucking everything. So Zohan worked much better as a character whose biggest problem was love. You know, and he was perfect at everything else. But you can't have him in an ensemble because then it's boring.
his character is almost the same thing. Except what I was getting at was that the way they showed the effect of him being superior was like this really cheesy, fast forward motion bullshit. It was terrible.
Of course. Yeah.
Even that was okay.
Anticipating people cheating.
He got around that. Really, it was Rob Schneider that ruined the movie.
Oh, really?
Because literally,
that's weird.
As soon as he shows up, it literally turns into shit jokes. They actually have a donkey shit as a punchline.
So is he a major character or is he like a tertiary
He's one
character?
of the six.
Oh, he's one of those
Yeah,
six.
he's the first one that he teams up with and moves forward.
Because I would argue that most of the time when Rob Schneider shows up, even his name doesn't sound right. When he finally shows up to the movie, he's usually this tertiary or quaternary character who his only thing is oh, I fuck goats.
You can do it!
Yeah. Then that's it.
In this case, they took that character
And
of his,
gave him dialogue.
and they gave him more lines. Yeah.
Gross.
My donkey shits. Yeah, it's really stupid.
It's sad that I didn't realize when we shifted from Zohan conversation to Furious 6 conversation.
Interchangeability.
I was just he comes in and plays a shitty character. Either one of those movies they could fly to.
But
Awesome, yeah.
overall, the challenge I had was it didn't suck enough to say this movie's a piece of shit.
Okay.
Because it had so many other pieces that kind of helped push it along.
Sometimes that's
were
worse,
alright.
in my opinion. You know,
Well, it had some genuinely funny moments too.
Yeah.
Again, because Terry Crews is hilarious.
Yes, he
He's
is.
awesome.
Yes.
So when he's on screen, you are actually enjoying watching it.
yeah.
The dude from Lost, the fat guy.
Hurley?
Yeah, Hurley. His character is kind of stupid, but the more you watch it, you realize he's giving it an amazing performance.
Okay.
Because it requires no dialogue. He's all. You're okay, so I respect that. That's all right.
So it's on Netflix then now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a curiosity.
I'll check that out. I'm curious.
It was a curiosity.
I guess it's been a long time since I've been an Adam Sandler movie. Even through the sentence, I was bored.
Yeah.
As soon as you got to Adam Sandler, you're like, fuck the rest of the sentence. Who gives a shit?
And I respect that.
Those great videos, especially for Pixels. It was Pixels shows up and it was everything's fucking cool. And there's a line graph that's aliens took this information that we sent them. It spikes a little bit about video games. It spikes a little bit more, and they came back and they fought us with video games, it's 3D shit, and everything's and then graph goes all the way up, and then it shows and Adam Sandler's Pac-Man's a bad guy, and it just drops. The graph drops because it's all about how interesting is this? Nothing. I'm out. The whole time through.
Yeah.
And I feel like most of what he's done recently is like this. So for it to be kind of middling is surprising.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I was really taken by was the fact that Netflix invested. They gave him like a 4-picture deal for exclusive Netflix movies.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ugh.
Yeah, and this was their first one they released, and again, it wasn't terrible.
Right.
Netflix, I think, had enough producers involved.
Yeah,
to guide
they were able to.
They were able to wrangle some of the Happy Madison stuff in. Like, Happy Madison movies always have like the same 7 or 8 little people on the sides playing a role.
Yeah.
That most of them were there, but not all of them, and they were very, very minimalized. They focused mainly on Will Forte's in it. He's a bad guy.
Sure.
Steve Zahn, he's great.
Yeah.
They have a really excellent choice of supporting characters, kind of dragging it along, making sure it's not a complete Jack and Jill.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
So, kudos to Netflix.
I think
get it.
the
They did all
main
right.
point was that Netflix was so happy that they got a development deal with Adam Sandler that they threw the fact that he's Adam Sandler out the window, and they're just like, we
we
have
have to name
these
Adam
fucking
Sandler.
4 Adam Sandler movies in development. Like, we're doing great, and they just completely ignore the fact that everyone's like, yeah, but it's Adam Sandler.
But he has a demographic, and he brings a certain.
that's still
thing.
true.
So,
That's
here,
so
so then
true.
here's the question then. So Greg, what was the first Adam Sandler movie you've ever seen? What was the first one?
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
Well, that was
Billy
like his
Madison.
Did you
first
like
movie.
Billy Madison?
I did like Billy Madison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And was Billy Madison the first one for you as well?
Well, I
Tom?
think that was his first movie. And
It was, but the first one for you.
Yes, and he,
I have a point mostly based
actually,
on the
Bulletproof. I think was his first movie. But that's a different story.
Sure,
on,
sure.
on the demographic, are you aiming for a
No, I
demographic
think
point?
Bulletproof was
Came
after
out.
Billy Madison. Anyway, so
Yeah,
I was curious because that was the first one you saw,
and it was a
you
good movie.
and you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, what's your least favorite Adam Sandler movie?
All of the ones in the past 8 years.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Greg.
gonna be either Jack and Jill.
I haven't seen that, or I haven't seen pictures.
Oh,
of
I
it.
haven't. No, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't seen what I assume would be my least favorites. Jack and Jill, or one of The Cobbler, or some terrible shit like that.
seen that either,
Which
yeah.
I've heard. Or what's the movie where his son is?
Magic? No.
No, his son is the guy from Lonely Island. Adam Sandberg.
Andy Samberg.
Yeah, Andy Samberg, and there's
I love-
a weird,
That's my
a
boy.
weird,
That's my boy.
a weird,
And
yeah,
that
a weird
wasn't
rape
bad.
scene in that movie. Apparently,
That wasn't bad though. That was an alright movie. Is that?
Well, and the reason I was curious is because Adam Sandler has created he's made movies for so long that my curiosity was if you start at the very beginning, you can see Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore were they had plots but fucking barely.
Well, you can tell when he gave up.
You can even see his face as he gave up.
Yeah.
But someone who maybe the first taste of an Adam Sandler movie was like 8 Crazy Nights or 50 First Dates or anything that has numbers in it. That perhaps maybe they would be more tolerant of Adam Sandler afterwards.
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
because they're like, well, Click is okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken in it.
But Click might have been someone's.
Hasselhoff.
Click was definitely someone's favorite movie of all time. You know,
I think it was Electra Lemon's favorite movie. Did you see the picture of the film with 47 copies of it?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
The
that's
Demi Carrot, the guy who writes
right,
for at midnight, he kept going every time he'd go to his parents' house. He bought a new version of Click and put it in their DVD collection. And so he was waiting for them to check, and he got to
It
47.
ended up with 47 DVD versions of Click.
And I believe the total number of DVD sales was 63.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
So
Most of them are
17 of them were not Demi.
Well, and if Adam Sandler himself wouldn't stop snapping it out of furious or out of rage, then he wouldn't have bought the rest of those. You know? He was snap.
Anyway. But yeah.
Click.
Yeah. Adam Sandler. Moving on.
Adam Sandler moves
I
on.
saw Ant-Man, so that cleansed the palate. It's fine.
Ant-Man's
I
good,
still
right?
need to see that.
Ant-Man is awesome.
Right, it's awesome.
It's
awesome.
on Redbox now. I need to see it.
It's awesome.
Okay, we know, Chris Light, you're listening. Hopefully this does not piss you off.
Sure. It'll be a brand new situation.
I know.
Yeah.
I have different views of the Marvel Universe than some of the people who have done
sure.
shows.
Yeah,
people
yeah,
listen.
sure.
Ant-Man, I think, is one of the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely one of the best.
Yeah.
Like even the things is that, and the reason is it's the same argument I always have. It stands alone as its own movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't require the rest of that
Right.
universe be shoved in there. And even when they did shove it in there with Falcon Boy or whatever the hell's name is,
Sure.
it was
That
minimal.
was apparently why Edgar Wright left.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
No, because Edgar Wright was going to.
Yeah, yeah.
He was originally going to be Wright, and he wanted to be so standalone that was going to. And Marvel was like, "No, we want to have at least one character that matches it, so he can be led into the continuity of the rest of the MCU or whatever." And he's like, "I don't want that. Like, I want it to be this one thing." And they're like, "Well, you're fucking out."
Yeah, well, the cool thing was you can literally cut that entire scene out,
Yeah.
and it does not impact the movie at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it just didn't matter. Which
Although the chunks were pretty funny when he's actually fighting the Falcon and he's like apologizing while he's like taking his parts out or whatever. Like that was because of Paul Rudd, really.
yeah, but yeah, Paul Rudd is fantastic.
It's worth it, Greg.
Yeah.
Definitely
It
check it
actually
out.
is worth
Yeah.
it.
I'm planning on it.
It's a great movie. It was so great.
Just like Guardians of the Galaxy, like in a way where it's like we don't know if people remember this or know what this is, so like let's have fun instead. You know, like
and the other piece of that puzzle for me really was the effects, the CG. Like all the Marvel movies right now are so damn CG heavy.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
let's tear down 97 buildings in every punch. It's stupid.
Well-
It doesn't really help the story at all. It's just let's aggressively do CG.
yeah, fan
But
service.
in
really,
Ant-Man, everything they did was great effects,
Yeah.
and serviced the story
Yeah.
wonderfully, and it was just really, really good.
There's a webcomic. It was like in this parallel universe where Neil deGrasse Tyson writes for Ant-Man, and it's like
Actually,
yeah. So like when he's being held by a person, he maintains the same mass. He like winds up like when he gets small and drops into someone's hand, their hand breaks because he's the same fucking mass. And then the amount of energy spent in order to come from a very tiny thing to an ant-sized creature into a normal human would have caused an explosion that would level like 14 city blocks or something like that. And it, like the last panel was like, all right, Neil, you got to calm down, man. Like, and of course he's like, nah, I'm getting laid, whatever. That's a pretty good Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. I think you nailed it.
on the nose, even me.
A little too on the nose. That's right. Try too hard.
I guess we're
Yeah,
Lights off. So
we
plugs.
have to finish our thing. So, Greg, this is time for you to give some plugs, man. Like,
Yeah.
where are you going to be? This is going to come out on Wednesday of next week. So
Okay.
if you know where you might be, maybe like, or if you're interested in the thing or whatever. Like, I know it's pretty early on in your career, but
yeah. So usually it's hard to plug since open mics are fickle beasts. But I will go ahead and say Sunday nights, Cap City Comedy.
great.
Go there
Yeah.
around 8 o'clock maybe. Mondays, Cotown Theater, Hotel Vegas.
Okay.
Go to those.
Yeah.
Opal Divines on Monday are also good.
Which Opal Divines?
The one on South.
Okay.
Penfield?
What's it called?
Yeah, Penfield. Yeah.
Yeah, Penfield Opal Divines.
Right next to Expose. I think,
Yes.
yeah.
Hey, I knew that reference.
Tuesdays,
Strip club.
go to Empire Control Room. It's a great room.
Yeah.
I will pretty much be there every week. Go
Awesome.
there.
Well,
Thursdays, go to New Movement Theater. They're great. They support the scene. Yeah, those are my guys. And if you're listening to this on Wednesday, on Thursday, this coming Thursday, I will be performing at Independence Brewing Company. That's a once a month show,
Yeah.
and it's a pretty good room. It's a pretty good turnout, and I would highly suggest going to that about 6 o'clock on Thursday if you're listening to this week.
Oh,
I think I should be able to make that because last time, because I get home around 6 because I'm driving from Taylor, and I realized because how far it is, not too Austin specific, but how far it is, I can actually just take the tollway basically straight to it, like 71 or whatever. So I want to see that. I'm glad to hear that you're going to do that. So,
Yes.
where can we find you online if you're prepared for it? Like if you want to share a Twitter or if you want to share a Facebook account or.
Let's go with at GI Lockwood,
Okay.
GILOCKWOOD
Excellent.
on
Yeah.
Twitter.
All right.
If there's any hope of ever finding me, it will be on there. If I ever choose to reveal myself,
Okay. You're there now.
Yeah. I haven't heard that.
Do you have a toast you want to give a toast to?
You gotta go first.
I
Give me, like,
toast.
Oh, yeah. Toast.
Matt and Kay Lauer had a baby. So
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
There's a baby.
I fell in love with that baby like I was in a Twilight fanfic. No. I'm so happy for those guys, and that the baby is healthy and happy, and the parents are happy, and the mom's happy, and everything's fucking great, and we're
Congrats,
just
you
so
kids.
excited for them. So, yeah. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, yes, that Matt Lauer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all are
Friend
friends with the National Matt Lauer?
Yeah, and Christopher Lloyd, the actor. And we know a Chris Evans, I guess, now.
Sure.
Yeah, through transitive property. But, well, Greg, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Love you so much. I want to hang out with you more often.
Yeah.
But, now that means we can't see each other for another 6 months, which prophecy, can't fight prophecy.
I mean, they say that. I think we should have sex soon, but
Well, we can have sex, we just don't talk.
Okay.
I mean,
as long
No
as
eye
as long as we don't look each other in the eye during.
yeah. Then it's still gender fluid. Right. But yeah, I love you. Thank you so much for coming. Dylan, thanks so much for helping out with the show, as always. And if you like the show, you want to know more about the show, you can go to drunkcastlive.com. That's drunkcastlive.com. We are at Facebook.com/DrunkcastLive. We're at DrunkcastLive on Twitter. We are DrunkcastLive Pics on Instagram. Not updated very often because I don't know what to post pictures about when we're drinking.
only so many empty beer bottles.
Usually, yeah. We are on the iTunes Store. We're on the Zune. With the iTunes Store, we'll soon be on the Google Play Store, which is neat.
Yes.
And I also got an email about a different process, people who are just cultivating podcasts, and that might be a thing too.
Awesome.
And then, yeah. 412-440-7468. That's a 412-440-SHOT. It's a shot line. You can call us anytime you have a musing or a complaint or anything. Anytime you want to yap your gum, at your phone and hope that someone listens. We'll play it on the air. We'll talk to you about stuff.
You can text us, too.
You can text us at that same number, 412-440-7468. And also questions at drunkcastlive.com. Leave a comment, leave a thing, anything you like, and then we feel like we're doing something that we're actually accomplishing something that's pretty neat. Or we'll just keep drinking. Yeah.
Cheers to that, too.
Cheers to that. But love you so much, and we'll see you next week, and podcast responsibly.
To let you know what the deal is.